Well, Coach, split at the NCHC Frozen Face-Off. Is there, a sense of some accomplishment since, you're the first team in program history to make it to the NCHC finals?
Well, I think there's a sense of a ton of accomplishment. Right? We've done a lot of firsts this year. We played very well against North Dakota, got a great win there. I actually thought we played very well against, Duluth as well. They shot it in the net and we didn't. I think we outshot them, we outchanced them. But that's a real resilient team over there, and obviously their goaltender came up with some big-time saves. But those are heavyweight contests. It's going to go, you look at the teams in the tournament. Somebody put it out today on Twitter, the record against teams in the tournament. Everybody's 500. That's what happens when two really, really good teams play. Look at Georgia and Alabama. One wins one, the other one wins one, and you call it a day. This is what happens. So Duluth found a way to win that second game, and kudos to them. They're battle-tested. They know how to win the postseason. But I think we are as well. We're battle-tested from being the NCHC, and we get the number 3 overall seed from a team that was picked 6th in our own conference. So that's quite an accomplishment. What
can you tell us about Northeastern?
That they're highly skilled, and they play a real offensive style. They won Hockey East. They're Hockey East champions, and for a reason. They're really well coached. Jerry Keefe's a good friend of mine. They're going to be organized. They're going to be real offensive. They're going to put it to us, and that way they're going to put pressure on us. And then their goaltender's elite. He's got a .952 save percentage for the season, and it feels like for his career he just stops pucks. So he's big, he's athletic, he's mobile, but they lost last week as well to UConn. So it's when good teams face good teams, what it's going to be is a hard-fought contest, and then whoever can just make that play to get the goal is going to win the game.
I asked Dylan this, but I'll throw it to you also to get
I hope opinion. I have a better answer.
I'm assuming that your team wants to win every time it takes the ice, but do you think there's any value in entering the tournament coming off a loss like you did against Duluth?
Well, I think there are lessons. There's lessons to be learned when winning. Those are more fun. And there's lessons to be learned when you lose. Those aren't as fun, but they can be as valuable. And so, what are the lessons to take from the Duluth game? Well, we have to make the plays. And we had a breakaway early on in that game. 2 minutes in, we don't score. They come down, score 2 minutes later. So that timing of when we get the goals, the timing of the saves, also important. And just the preparation and the readiness of every game to really be in our process and follow our process is important.
Northeastern has a goal scorer who I believe is just behind Ethan Frank as far as the nation's scoring goals list. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges in kind of slowing down that offense?
Yeah, again, they're going to be faced with the challenge of stopping our offense as well. We're the 4th leading scoring team in the country. So, but they have skilled guys, and that kid, he scores a bunch of goals for sure, and Ethan scores a bunch of goals. And how do they do it? They do it in a little different ways. Like Ethan's an elite skater, he does a lot of it off the rush and with speed like that. And their kid's got a real good stick. He's heavy, he's smart, creates offense that way, and they have a bunch of guys like that. So it'll be, 2 teams really trying to score. It should be a highly entertaining game, and up down the ice is what I would expect.
You mentioned just the difficulty of playing any NCAA tournament team. A lot of them beat up on each other, or did in the regular season anyway. I think you played around 20 games against qualifiers. How do you think that schedule prepared you for what's ahead?
Well, I don't think it could prepare us any better, honestly. And what the weekend we just came through. So, number 3, 4, 5, and 7 were in the at the Excel Center last weekend, and so this weekend is going to look a lot the same. They're going to be 2 very, very hard games. We just got to find a way to win. We made a couple of plays there in the North Dakota game. We didn't make in the Duluth game, and we're going to need elite goaltending, and we're going to need our best players to be our best players. I think that's the recipe for almost everyone in the tournament.
You were an assistant here during tournament runs in 2011 and 12. How different do these types of NCAA tournament games feel from regular season or even, NCAA conference tournament playoffs?
It's honestly interesting. The regional is interesting because they're not on site, so no one has that big crowd there and the real environment. So you have to create your own kind of energy lots of times, and but we've done a good job of that. We've gone out east twice this year, and there wasn't big crowds. They were on over breaks, and we've kind of generated our own excitement. And we have a mature team that way, so I'm confident that we'll come out with a real nice effort.
All right, Dylan, Broncos split at the NCHC Frozen Face-Off. Obviously not completing all the goals you wanted to, but you have to feel some sort of sense of accomplishment there with reaching the finals, which is something the team has never done before.
Yeah, for sure. I think all the boys felt good. We obviously came up short, like you said, but at the end of the day, we got our chances. They just didn't go in. So it's one of those things where we should be proud of ourselves and what we've done, but we're moving on, and we got our eyes on the prize here, and we're excited for this weekend. So
you've been on the fourth line, pretty much all season, and can you just talk about your role and what it is that your line's supposed to do out there when you head out on the ice?
Yeah, just playing hard, forechecking, being strong on the puck, and even getting some chances too. I think especially in this later half, we've really been clicking as far as my line goes, and kind of figuring it out and getting the chemistry going a little bit. So I think we're rolling, and it's a good time to start to play well and really connect as a line. So.
With that fourth line, coaches went with the extra forward pretty much all season long, and he likes to kind of mix it in and out there. And just talk about the dynamic of, getting four guys that get to kind of go out there every once in a while.
Yeah, it's nice to give a guy a little breather sometimes and change it up a little bit. Sometimes it just takes one person going in and out to change the whole line and energy and change everything all along. So it's nice that we can count on four guys that can play that position and provide a good role for the team and help the boys win.
You talk about changing energy, and I brought this up to Coach after the game on Friday for our radio interview, but you have that 5-minute major power play in the third period. It didn't go very well. Duluth killed it off pretty easily. Your line then goes out there and gives back-to-back shifts and really kind of takes any momentum away that kill had for them. I guess just talk about, going into that position knowing, that was the job you needed to do.
Yeah, we kind of know our role and what we got to do to help the team win, and we just try to do everything we can to play the right way and shift that energy or keep it going. It's just something that we're bought into, and I think that we've been doing that pretty well, especially these past few games and weeks. So,
Dylan, I'm assuming you'd like to see your team win every time it takes the ice, but do you think there's any value in entering the NCAA tournament coming off a game where you lost and know you probably could have played better?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I feel like we're just more hungry. It hurts to lose. No one likes that feeling, and I think it's going to help us kind of propel and help us out in this tournament for the long run that we're ready to do.
And I believe your team has played around 20 games against tournament qualifiers. How do you think that regular season schedule prepared you for what's ahead?
Yeah, I think the NCHC is one of the best leagues in college hockey. They got 5 of the 8 teams in the tournament, so it's especially a big factor and helps us out in the long run. Kind of gets us ready for that playoff hockey and atmosphere. So it's just you're locked in, ready to go. So I think it helps in the long run for sure.
Do you have any personal history with the NCAA tournament, either watching games as a kid or just kind of following along at all?
Yeah, I've always been a fan. I think a lot of the guys have, and it's just a real feeling to be able to experience it firsthand, especially this being my first year, and it's been a great ride so far, a great group of guys, and I'm excited to get things rolling this weekend.
Last question here. How do you feel about playing at noon?
I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't know. It doesn't really affect me, and I'm sure it doesn't affect any of the boys too much either. We're just excited. Like, we wish it could be Friday already. We wish we could get on that ice and play. So we're just counting down the days, playing hard, practicing hard. I think we're ready to go and excited to play this Friday.